What's up, everybody? My name is Sho. So, can spirituality help with our mental health? That's the question we're going to ponder today, and I'm going to share a few words from my experience with regards to spirituality and how it might or might not be able to help mental health, our mental health. Excuse my words. So, I don't do recuts and retakes because I allow the current of life to just flow through me. So I'm not going to cut that out. You got me coughing. That's what's going on here. A lot of people like to fine tune and perfect their videos and all this kind of stuff. No, I want you to see the perfection of the imperfection of that which I am. So you don't believe that everybody's perfect when they present themselves onto YouTube, right? It doesn't have to be polished. It has to be real. This is real. The imperfection. None of that is unreal. And it's so perfectly imperfect. Nature, right? Anyway, sidetracked. Spirituality and mental health. So how and why can spirituality help mental health? Because when I used to live with a motor tic condition, a mental health condition that I lived with for 20 years of my life, in that period of my life, guess what? I was disconnected from the idea of any sense of spirit or spirituality. I was devoid of a connection to God. My God was the scientists. So I believed science was the religion. I believed the scientists knew because they're the ones that are trying to figure things out. They're the ones working in our world trying to gain more knowledge. Right? And this was it for many, many years. Well, the scientists know, so I'm going to keep learning from the scientists because they'll have the answers for me. At least somebody will. But you get to a point on that journey where you're like, hold on, these scientists aren't any cleverer or wiser than my experience of life. And there was nobody that could give me a solution to the mental health condition that I was living with. Nobody had an answer that I could take out of a box, do, and fix myself. Because that's not how mental health issues, conditions work. Because it's beyond mind. We are more than just our thinking ego. We are so much more than that. So if you try and fix just the thinking ego, it's not going to work because it's compartmentalized aspect of all you are. So for me, I had to go through a bit of a process of understanding the relationship, let's say, of what's beyond the mind. What helped me get out of the mind and into the body, one of the tools that I used was psychedelics. Psychedelics supported my process of seeing what's behind the mind, what relationship there is between the mind and the body. This supported me immensely on my path. Now, there's all sorts of ways of finding out what's outside the mind, right? But ultimately, spirituality helps, right? Spirituality helps. Because there's a longing, a reaching, a searching, a desire for something beyond what we think we already know, right? It's a curiosity and an openness. And once we find that curiosity and openness in our day-to-day life, we realize there is something beyond what I know and what the scientists know. And once we find that curiosity and that opening, we're like, there's something else going on here. And welcome to the world then of that curiosity, of spirit, of beyond mind, the energetic nature, spirituality. So in my experience, that desire to seek something beyond me, right? An energetic nature, something outside the mind, that the body helps me feel, see and know as an instrument, is and has deeply supported my process of healing my mental health condition. Because no longer am I living on the surface of thoughts, right? I am deepening my experience of life by searching for something that's beyond me, deeper than me. There is a force beyond just the thinking mind. There are so many forces interacting with us all the time. So many forces. because we are not just a physical body, but we are an energy body too. And if it's energy, we have many forces on us, many strands of forces. Whether you can say those forces are the grounding nature of the planet reverberating through your feet, or the subtle forces of astrology as the sun and the moon moves on our sky and changes the dynamics of the day, which affects our life. Right? Whether it's the forces of the overpowering mother or father that you have, that is somehow still influencing you every single day, but you're so used to it, you've forgotten, or you don't even know what it's like to be totally free. Maybe there are forces of your work. You believe that you have to make money to be safe, so I have to give my power away to this force so they give me something in return. So I'm selling myself to a system. Forces are happening all the time in our life. But when we start attuning our attention and our alignment and our seeking to the forces we want to give our power to, when we start giving our forces to who we want to give our power to, versus who we've just naturally done it throughout our life because that's how society tells us to do it, right? Then you can start tuning into who you want to become. There are certain forces in our existence that takes us in certain directions, that guide us, helps us grow. When we open curiously to certain people or places or things and say yes to that thing. To me, that is part of what spirituality is. Religion to some extent too. We open ourselves to something else bigger than us and say yes to it. Now, for me, religion hasn't worked because the religions in the world feel like power centers that have like too much of a power control on our society. And there's been so many scandals in these particular institutions for too long that my trust in them has mostly faded. But that doesn't mean there isn't such thing as spirit or soul or energy. There is a deeper remembrance inside of us waiting for all of us. And so how do we connect to that deeper part of us, right? We find ways. And so here's, I've really rambled for 7 minutes here, but I want to share three ways here that help you see how spirituality can help mental health. Right? The first one is purpose. Purpose. Right? Seeing something greater than the individual egoic you and believing in something greater, bigger, more magnificent than the simplicity of your individual self, right? Gives you purpose, something to reach for, something to move towards, something to believe in, something to grow towards. I want to be like that magnificence. That spiritual being, that angel, that divine being, that old person that parted the waters, right? Whatever word you want to use, whatever person you want to choose, or persons you want to choose. Because these divine beings, whole religions have been built around them, but what matters is what frequency of the person or persons, Buddha, Allah, right, you want to tune into. And it doesn't have to be a person who's part of a religion. It could be like, it could just be a magnificent being from Martin Luther King is coming into my mind's eye right now. People that you like, yeah, to that, right? And there's a connection here to that, to them. And they could be alive, they might not be alive. But there's a connection here, and you believe in that spiritual connection with them. Not just, I think they were cool, I think I'd like to be like them. Know it. Open yourself to them. Right? That gives purpose, drive, passion. I want to model myself like this person, this place, this thing, this embodiment of Shiva, whatever choice, right? Whatever you choose to surrender into. Because that surrendering into, to some level, is a choice. At another level, it just happens. Because when an energetic thing swarms into us, it takes us in a current of life. So it depends on your capacity to see as to whether you are choosing this or whether you are just into somebody else's current of life. But what I'm showing here is that by allowing ourselves to be part of that depth of reality and allowing it to take us somewhere and choosing that and saying yes to that, opening ourselves to that which is beyond and a bit of a mystery, gives us passion, gives us purpose, gives us meaning. in life. So that's number one. Another reason why spirituality can support and help us improve mental health is practice. Purpose gives us meaning. When we have meaning, we have drive, so the mind isn't all over the place. Right? Then we start practicing. Okay, we can practice something. In each of these aspects of spirituality, we practice to get closer to that thing that we're trying to drive to, move to open to. We must practice to get there, because our everyday society is pretty shallow. So we have to practice to get there, and practice is a very individual thing. There's so many different ways to practice. One of the basic ways to practice in our modern world is something called meditation or mindfulness. Learning to quieten the mind, learning to be still. Maybe it's following certain people on YouTube and moving into spiritual teachings. A practice is listening to spiritual teachings. That's another way to practice, right? Maybe it's yoga, right? Maybe it's rock climbing. Maybe it's abseiling. Don't know why I'm thinking about rocks. Anyway, point being is that, yes, it's about practice with spirituality. Usually there's a component of, I practice this to get closer to where I want to go to, and my connection to deepening reverence, life. And thirdly, we want to talk about communion and community. To support our mental health, having other people in our life who want to share, explore, deepen, talk about, relate with you at that depth, deeply supports our mental health. Right? So sometimes it means changing our friends, going to a new class, meeting new people, so that we can have the types of conversations that we need and want in order to improve our mental health, because currently the people we're hanging out with aren't supporting that. Who can I be with, spend more time with, in a way that will help me deepen my connection to life itself? Because spirituality is just deepening connection to life itself. Instead of staying in the shallow aspects of the physical world, we are learning to connect to our emotions, our energies, the spiritual nature. So these are three beautiful reasons why, yes, spirituality can help. Purpose, practice, and communion, community. Right? Connection in and with others. Real connection. Not just like watching videos. Right? Playing games on the internet, on your phone. I'm talking about real connection. With touch, with hugs. Right? With a dropping in with each other and really knowing each other. This type of communion. This type of community. These types of friends. So there you have it. Yes is the answer to the first question I shared. Yes, I found that spirituality has deeply supported and helped me to improve my well-being and mental health. Deeply. Because I never used to be connected like I am now. And I used to suffer a lot with my mental health. To the point where like my ADHD brain was causing my body to move. It wasn't just overacting thoughts. I had an overacting body as well as overacting thoughts. Right? And so deepening myself is what's helped me do this. Breath, mindfulness are two of the most powerful and popular tools out there right now to start connecting with your body deeper, so that you can start relating, turning on the instruments which connect you to spirit. So know those things, practice those things, get those things going, do them daily, do something daily. The Nadi Shodhana, an ancient Indian pranayama practice, is a great thing to do for 3 minutes every day. It's so subtle, very little, you don't need a lot, but it just helps you keep bringing into inside yourself versus being pulled out, your energy being pulled out into the external world. Right, which is, we have so many seductions in our world. There's so many seductions, so many distractions, so many obsessions, so many fixations, so much alluring nature to our celebrities. All of this stuff can just drop And you can come into you and be you. Activate you. So you can be that driving force, that powerhouse, that loving presence, that kind, soft heart for the world around you. But to do that before you've come into you means that you'll be giving yourself away too much. So be you first, know you, feel you, connect with you, relate to you, ground into you, and then be that heart upon the world. But even to get there, you've got to start softening this mind, coming into the body, and coming deeper into the heart, giving yourself purpose in life, finding that deep purpose. And it doesn't have to stay forever, you know. Choose your deity or your God for this period of your life. Change it next year, right? But the point is, you don't have to be stuck with it. Explore different traditions and religions and connections to spirit and different hearts and different teachers. Explore it all. You are free. Don't get locked into one, because it's all there for us to enjoy, to taste, to know, to play with, to experience, and to travel. Because there's different teachers along our journey of life. We'll have different teachers along the way, different deities, different paths. We are all different. Some of us might mix and match. Some of us might be with the same God for many lifetimes. There's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong. You're free to choose. So please choose. You have that choice. Okay. Blessings from Bali. Wishing you a beautiful day. If anything bubbled up to the surface in your mind as you are listening to my words today, please share your commentary below so I can feel you, know you, and it might give me inspiration for new videos in the future as well. I would appreciate that. Alright, sending my love from Bali, and until my next video, ciao ciao. Check out some of these other videos too. Okay, peace out.